Eric Stover, Cindy Dole, we love to improve your home and improve your life, and maybe we'd like to shake it up and get
I don't know why we
groove
wouldn't.
on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? I was cleaning our pots and pans the other night.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was this one particular pan. It, I'll admit it. I sauteed the onions a little more than I should have. Kind of got a little brown.
In my book, that's called burning.
Kind of burned it a little bit. I know. State your name. I'm guilty.
Did Bill eat it?
It worked out great. I might have had to get a second version.
That's
but
right.
The problem was that the pot, and I'm guilty of doing this because I might kind of dance around and do other things anyway. But so let's just say that I had a black, we'll call it a wok.
Sure.
It's my stir fry pan. It's just a solid steel pan, and it had some black in it, and I soaked it and I scrubbed it and I got it pretty clean. And then I realized that there were some little black parts from not the enamel. It isn't a Teflon, or it didn't have any coating. It's just a plain metal pan, but some black pieces were coming off, and it almost felt like, well, gosh, is it time to get rid of the pan? Because now it wasn't just from the carbon, if you will.
Sure.
It wasn't from the burn.
Yeah.
It was from the pan itself.
The surface of the pan.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
And so, I've always been raised to have your pan for life because it almost brings in flavors, and it's the history of the pan and, all that. And so I thought we'd talk about, first of all, how do you make sure that your pan is the ultimate pan, and which metal or surface you use for what? And then how do you say goodbye to it? When it comes time to saying and getting rid of your
Well, like, is this pan one of those cast iron?
Nope.
It was just a regular aluminum pan?
No.
Or stainless? What was it?
It's a stainless. It has a little bit of a it's not a Teflon,
no.
But it's a.
But some coating came off.
Yeah. It's not copper. But anyway, so let's talk about the different kinds of pan, because everything from aluminum, to copper, to I guess anodized aluminum, enameled. I guess you would call this maybe more of an enameled cast iron is what I had. I think it was.
Okay.
Anyway, so I mean, when you're cooking, because I know that you love to cook.
Yeah. And I chose stainless steel.
Yep.
Because I know that I do burn stuff occasionally because I walk away for a minute, and you can always bring it back with steel wool.
Yep.
So and then I also had this idea, and what is your take on this with any aluminums or amalgam metals together? There's a potential Alzheimer risk. Is that true in your opinion, or no?
Well, current studies have basically all but exonerated aluminum cookware from that, and I mean, there's a lot of like urban legend. There's a lot. All I can say is because we're not doctors, and we don't play them on TV.
Well, I did play one once. I looked great in a lab coat. Anyway, go ahead.
In a soap opera, wasn't it, one time? But all we can say, if you have the fear, then just don't buy it and don't use it, because that's not what the show is. But we can tell you that a lot of different companies have done a lot of testing, along with the EPA, to make sure that our pots and pans are okay. You just have to pick the right kind, the best kind, and then treat it right so that you don't have problems. It's all about the quality, their care, and choosing the right pan for the job.
And I will say that I think price point does matter, because the more expensive pans and pots that I've purchased are better. They retain heat better, they last longer, they clean easier.
Yep.
And again, I'm talking about stainless. Because I bought one that was less expensive, and it doesn't work as well as the more expensive one.
No, I agree. I do like the stainless as well. Yeah. But I would also agree that you wouldn't want to buy your pots and pans, because if you're cooking on a nightly and a daily basis, you don't want to buy them at the dollar store.
No.
You don't want to have them like some imported that you don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about stuff from China, right? That you just don't know.
That may not have been tested properly. So you want to get cookware that is going to cook well, that's going to be safe, that's going to make your food taste right. Because some of the different metals truly interact with the acids and so forth. So let's walk through the list.
And might I remind all of us that we have now heard again that the Mediterranean diet is the way to go. And
walnuts
that's more,
and almonds.
And olive oil.
Yep.
So I use olive oil fairly regularly in all my cooking, and now and coconut oil too.
Yep.
That's okay for you. You don't have to get the nonstick, maybe. You can get the stainless and use a little bit more oil and coconut oil.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what the different surfaces are going to mean. So if you do own stainless steel cookware, right, it is non-reactive, which is good news, meaning that it's not going to react chemically with your natural foods, and it won't alter the taste of the acid in the food. It's low maintenance, and it won't corrode, and it's easy to clean. Well, unless you're me. Sometimes I have to kind of...
But, I mean, you soak it with steel wool. It's not that bad.
My trick is baking soda, baby. Baking soda. It works so great.
Yeah.
Because even when it's so, like, charred on there, I put some hot water in the side sink and then, just a bunch of, like, a half a cup of baking soda and just let it massage away. And then I come back at the end of the day, and it's already eaten up a lot of the charred stuff.
Great.
And then you can do your bristle
steel,
pad.
Yeah, that's great.
Have you ever tried the bacon?
I did last week. I did burn something really badly. The oatmeal, I left it in there, and it was literally like black char.
Uh-huh.
And my mother-in-law was in town, and she suggested the baking soda, and it absolutely did work. Yeah.
See, I knew I loved Marilyn.
I know.
There you go.
She knows things.
What about copper cookware? Copper is so beautiful when it's new, right? But before you invest in this beautiful line of pots and pans that you might have a fantasy of hanging them from the ceiling to make your kitchen look decorative. But then remember that when you cook with it, it's going to react with the foods that you're preparing.
Oh, is it? Does copper do that?
Totally does.
Oh.
It conducts heat really well.
Yeah.
But it's best to avoid cooking if you're having tomato sauce. With your marinara,
Sure.
you wouldn't want to use your copper cookware to make a nice tomato sauce because of the copper. It's going to make your meal taste
really?
metallic.
Oh no!
Have you ever had that metallic taste left in your mouth? It's terrible. Or you walk into a room where let's say it's some store and they've just been cleaning with Lysol and you can almost taste the chemicals.
That's right.
Even though you're glad that they've cleaned it with Lysol and it's no longer as germy, but now it's that taste, right?
Yeah.
You don't want your food to have that. And then also dishwasher detergent will also discolor and ruin your copper pots and pans.
Well, yeah, and when you think about copper gutters, they oxidize. They turn that patina beautiful green blue, and it probably does the same thing with ware when you have it as cookware.
Which I guess is pretty on the outside, but not great on the inside, and then it's going to not taste good. So if it does discolor, guess what? It's that I know you're invested in it. It's vinegar. It's white vinegar.
Yay! Finally.
It's the white vinegar.
It's my wonder product.
With a little bit of salt. So again, it's that coarse, acid thing that the salt's going to eat away with it with the vinegar acid, and that with a sponge is going to help bring the color of your copper
I think I'm
back.
going to rule out copper cookware.
Aluminum cookware. Okay, aluminum is another non-reactive. It conducts heat well. It shouldn't be used, though, to cook acidic food. So this is just one of those things where if you have an aluminum, you're just going to have to make a decision. That's not for my tomato sauce, or my lemon chicken dish. It's going to be for yams, or something like this. If you own a cast iron cookware, now have you ever cooked with a cast iron? So darn heavy.
It is heavy. But I'll tell you, it does really transfer heat effectively.
Yeah.
Every part
country
of it,
style
it's
recipes.
Even.
It's great like for chicken fried steak, right?
Yep.
Pancakes, and it's going to require some extra care.
But I will say, you do taste the flavor of other foods in it, which I'm not crazy about.
Yes or no? Oh, yeah, exactly. You wouldn't want to taste breakfast at dinner.
No.
But if you only made your Italian dishes in there, think of how lovely that would be. It would already have all that stuff just kind of, seasoned over time.
Right.
Layers of goodness, right? But something to keep in mind, though, by the way, if you do have cast iron, you can't use soap or detergent to clean it. It'll remove the seasoning, and it'll cause corrosion. So instead, you've got to use a stiff brush and hot water. So again, now you got to be a little more patient. A little extra care, so you have to kind of weigh your odds of what you want to do.
And you have to oil it regularly, don't you? Yeah.
So now you got to, not oil and moisturize your skin, but now you have moisturizing needs for your pots and pans.
I can't do it.
I know. And then carbon steel, of course, that heats quickly and withstands high temperatures, and it's good for all kinds of low-fat cooking, so something to keep in mind. Anyway, hope you had some fun listening with us. The fun always is right here. You can go to our website, yourhomewizards.com, and remember, the conversation goes on 24/7. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards, where we improve your home and improve your life.